You join us for round 12 of the 2016 FF1M season at a personal favourite of mine, the old forest layout of Hockenheim. This is the German Grand Prix. Now, I've got two team bosses with me this time. I've got Courtney from Shake and Bake.
Hello, that is my name.
And I've got Tobias from Tornado.
Yeah, and I think that is my name, last time I checked.
Hold on a minute, I've got it written down. Yes, it is, yeah.
So as mentioned, it's the German Grand Prix, which last season saw Nico Rosberg take Willow's only win of the 2015 season, partly thanks to Sebastian Vettel's engine grenading itself, with a few laps to go, so unlucky there. It's not going so well for you this time though, Courtney.
Yeah, but look at that lap record. Sebi Vettel in the Shake and Bake, and that's all that people will remember.
I can say he went out with a bang.
And Vettel managed an 8th last time out at Hungary, and it didn't go so well for you either, Tobias, because you had Perez blow up and Gonzalez 7th on what I probably reckon was your weakest circuit of the season.
Yes, well, thank you very much for having me again. Yeah, it was. Bottom line, that was the worst race of the season for us as a team. I didn't expect to be strong going into it, but at the same time, I was still disappointed. I at least expected to maybe challenge for the podium, but we were nowhere near that, and we ended up a lap down and having our first mechanical failure of the season as well. So it was completely a race to forget.
And meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton won that particular race, and he's carrying over his good form because he's qualified on pole position. That's his 30th career pole, not far ahead of Kevin Magnussen in the FJR. He finished second last time out in Hungary, and we've got Nico Hülkenberg third ahead of the Assman, Valtteri Bottas. GRM's best qualifying of the season. That's my new nickname for him, by the way. Nico Rosberg fifth on the grid. He returned to form in Hungary with a third, and he's got Daniel Ricciardo sixth on hard tyres, and that's a decent effort from him. Fernando Alonso seventh in the X-Lite. He topped first practice actually, so seventh may seem a letdown, but X-Lites, well, we'll see how they do in the race. Sainz 8th, Verne, the highest of the non-Judd manufacturers, in 9th, and Tony Coast in 10th. And it's an all Tornado row 6, Perez ahead of Gonzalez, set identical lap times to each other.
I hope there's something to separate them during the race, put it that way.
And there's the first of the Shake and Bakes in 13th, ahead of Nicholas Latifi in 14th. Then Cooper Lee down in 15th, not a great qualifying from him, especially considering his teammates on pole. Felipe Massa, 16th in the Meister, ahead of Itsuki Yoshida, 17th in the Shake and Bake. Grosjean down in 18th, that's a bit low for him, so maybe he can do some progress in the race. Then the back two rows, Kimi Räikkönen, Stoffel van Dorn, and then the absolute back row of the grid consists of the new boy, James Clark. He had an inauspicious debut with a mechanical issue, and Max Verstappen last.
It's going to be very tough for Willows to repeat their win of last season, I think.
Even though they did it from 12th last season, yeah, it's a bit of an ask.
Anyway.
So here we go. 5 lights are on. Hamilton on the inside of the grid, Magnussen on the outside. And there's a very long pause, but the 5 lights go out, and that looked a good start from Kevin Magnussen from second on the grid. There's an Andrew flicking out towards the middle of the circuit, but into the first corner, round the outside, and it's going to be Kevin Magnussen who takes the lead of the race, with Hülkenberg looking to challenge Hamilton.
It's a ballsy move, that.
Ballsy move round the outside, but Hamilton has got some slipstream into the acid test, otherwise known as the Jim Clark chicane, and Valtteri Bottas is making gains, and Magnussen defending very aggressively.
It's going to get interesting. Somehow they seem to have all made it through, I think.
And Magnussen's starting to open out a bit of a gap over Lewis Hamilton, and now Hamilton has got the other FJR to deal with. Hülkenberg up the inside going into the Ost curve. Bottas tried to brave it round everyone, but still in 4th, and Hamilton a tad wide at the Ost curve. That could put him under pressure, and further back everyone's gotten through safely. That's quite impressive at this layout of Hockenheim.
Yes, and considering these wider cars as well from last season.
Yeah, seeing these beefy cars around Hockenheim's pretty cool, actually.
Oh, that's going to inch.
Wish we could have seen that in real life.
Yes.
Both Andrews on the move, it seems.
And Rosberg is challenging Bottas for 5th, but not quite making it stick.
And look at the amount of fuel that Rosberg's got on, 30 laps. That is a very, very long first stint that he's preparing for. 1 stop's expected all round. There's yellows at the Ajip curve.
Ooh, who's dropped down the leaderboard? Raikkonen's at the back. Vettel's at the back. Uh-oh.
It is Raikkonen.
Is that a Vettel in front? Or is, oh dear,
Yeah.
this is looking ominous.
Might want to look away, Courtney.
3 wide.
Ooh,
and
3 wide, that's not
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Has Vettel survived that? Vettel can't survive that, can he?
Well, Raikkonen's only lost the front wing somehow, but Vettel, I didn't see him move quickly out of there.
Yeah, he went in way hard. There's no way he got out of that, I don't think.
I've seen it many times. I've seen it sometimes in Grand Prix 4 before where Rosberg's challenging Bottas, where a car could hit the wall so hard they don't lose any wheels, but they just don't get going again.
That exact same thing happened to Yoshida in Austria. He hit Latifi quite hard, and no wheels or even any damage, but just pulled off. As that is Alonso making his way past. Ooh.
And Rosberg, that was... I'm amazed that Alonso or Rosberg didn't spin there.
But 2 for the price of 1 for Alonso.
Vettel is now showing ahead of Raikkonen, so I'm guessing he did get going again, surprisingly.
It's caused a concertina effect behind, and the 2 tornadoes are going at it, passing Andrew and a GRM, and Perez on the inside of... That's Tony Coast, I believe, because Ricciardo's in 4th.
That is correct. Perez up to the points, and his next target, Valtteri Bottas. Now Sainz is looking to challenge Tony Coast, or Cost a Lot of Coffee, as Willows once called him, and he's got that into the stadium. That is 9th for Carlos Sainz, and there's Gonzalez versus Latifi around the Sachs hairpin.
Defending from Latifi, obviously didn't get the best of exits out of that final chicane, but he's held on.
And Magnussen setting a new fastest lap, and he's got a 2-second lead over Hülkenberg, who himself has got 1.7 seconds over Hamilton. And look at the gap between Hamilton and Alonso, 3rd and 4th. That's
wow,
some gap.
Yeah, I only at the end of lap 2 as well. That is crazy.
Ricciardo slow, very, very slow out of the Sud curve.
That's a climax. Yeah, that's probably terminal.
Oh, yeah, definitely now, yeah.
I don't know what has happened to my engine's reliability lately. I mean, I even did... We even had a recent engine update, and just for good measure, Gonzalez gets overtaken by Latifi. But I did quite a lot of, a sizable amount of reliability testing, the one just gone, and yeah, I don't get it.
Remember, the customers do have 10% more unreliability because to try and simulate with installations. So it's still in the background, just smoking away like a chimney.
Yeah. Yeah, you do get some cracking engine blow-ups in this game. And that's Yoshida making a move on, must be Verne, for 12th place.
I think in Ricciardo terms, his engine's had a napalm enema.
I think Vettel did get going again because his name just jumped ahead of Ricciardo, who must have pulled off the side of the track by now.
So not all over for Shake and Bake just yet, but certainly won't have done Vettel's race any good. Where's Yoshida? He's up to 12th, so that's not too bad. But now he's down to 13th.
And we're on board with Perez here. First of the tornadoes, closing in on Bottas for 6th place.
Battle for 6th and into the slipstream on this straight approaching the Ayrton Senna chicane, which in real life got tightened in 1994. It used to be a proper quick one, but ever since the spate of accidents at Imola, they threw that little bit of a safety measure in there.
And Perez makes that a very easy move, and also Bottas is under pressure from his teammate here for 7th. Bottas going backwards.
Round the outside, going into the stadium. Good effort from Sainz.
Oh, he's coming back though, is Bottas. I don't know what the team orders are at GRM, but...
Probably as long as you don't collide, then you're looking good.
I think the slipstream effect might be quite powerful.
Yeah, it's going to be a cat and mouse game between these two GRMs, just back and forth between straights and chicanes.
When you have two very evenly matched cars in Grand Prix 4 at this circuit, it's quite difficult to pull away from the car you've just overtaken, unless, for example, just there Bottas gets a bad exit, and now he's going to get overtaken by Tony Coast for 8th place, the sole remaining Andrew.
And that's it, back into the points, and that...
has he got a problem there, Bottas? Very slow.
Terrible exit out of the Senna chicane, but now under pressure from Gonzalez. I think Gonzalez may have a small advantage, depending on how much ERS you're running, but here comes Latifi.
Oh wow! I think Gonzalez got bulked there on the exit of the chicane, and then Latifi took full advantage of that. This is exactly not what Gonzalez needs. I mean, he's finished points in every race, and I'm probably just going to jinx that now when he collides with Latifi. But yeah, this is not at all what he needs with Hamilton and the FGRs up the road, and he gets his revenge on Latifi without contact.
Oh, does he?
Here comes the goat.
Or does he? Yeah, doesn't last, does it?
It's hanging on. There we go. But back into the slipstream, and then there's a Meister coming into play, Felipe Massa.
This is just costing both of them time.
But Latifi doesn't have enough of a slipstream on this occasion, so maybe Gonzalez can try and use the slightly better Tornado car, I reckon, to try and pull away. In fact, here comes Cooper Lee versus Yoshida for 13th into the Os curve, maybe. Well,
it's gone wide there, but he somehow, despite going slightly off the track, he's pointing the right way, and so does Clark, passing his teammate. That's impressive.
Yeah, the two Gajeras going at it with each other. And by the way, on the left-hand side of the screen, it's a name error because it still says Kubica.
I was literally just going to point that out. That I was going to ask, are you sure Kubica's pulled off?
Well, he may not be out of FF1M completely, because I did hear a whisper that he might join one of the current teams for the remainder of the season. But I'll leave it at that for now.
Well, I'll tell you that Courtney's been quite quiet.
I think he's making tea.
I'm not, and I'm still there. I'm just remaining quiet.
Well, here's Vettel.
No, I have full faith in Sebastian Vettel and that other guy I've got as well. So don't worry.
That's what you say every season. Vettel and that other guy.
Oh, hang on a second. Hockenberg.
Oh dear, FGR's got a problem. Hulkenberg, is he going to make it back to the pits? I think luckily for him, he's coming up to it now. I think he will. Yep, he's going to make it into the pits. Quite fortunate there. It'll be interesting to see what the issue is. But first sign of fragility from the FGR.
Yes, I was about to get onto this because I'm running mode 11 for this race, and I only used one engine management rather than two, so there is a reliability concern for both my cars, and here is that, and Hulkenberg's going to have to convert into a two-stop strategy as a result.
Certainly not ideal.
Now that you've had the minor glitch, does that mean you shouldn't get the big glitch now?
In theory, yes, it should. I mean, I've seen it in Grand Prix 4 where a car just like Hulkenberg has a technical issue, but he makes it to the pits, gets it repaired. And then I've never seen anyone have a terminal race ending failure where they pull off after they've already done an end schedule stop because of mechanical failure, if that makes sense.
Yep. So technically, now Brickles, your car should be invincible, is what we're saying.
Unless he crashes. In which case,
yeah, okay. Yeah, not completely invincible then.
Not completely, but it's down to the driver. As Hulkenberg...
Oh, that's a bit late.
Oh, he's gone in hot there, but he's just about kept it. I've seen a lot of cars do that so far.
Yeah, struggling with the brakes a little bit going into the Ost curve when making an overtake. Meanwhile, lap 10 and Magnussen has... How much lead has he got? Well, let's see the two Gajeras go at it into the Senna chicane, and they keep it nice and clean for now.
It wouldn't be such a big deal as if it was, 2008 when their guys, Guy's drivers, took each other out of the race because that was for a podium. But here it's just for 16th
This could get hairy.
place.
Whoa, look at the willows!
Oh,
Jesus.
there's the willows on the inside. Almost a repeat of what happened to Seb on the first lap.
Very opportunistic there from Max Verstappen, nearly taking 2 birds in 1 stone. Is this the replay of how he nearly did it?
It's a replay, is it? Or was it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I thought for a moment it was.
Yeah,
I thought for a moment it was the other Willows, but Jev is coming back at Verstappen here.
I was about to poo my pants again there.
And gets through. And after what was a reasonable qualifying for Jev in P9, he's fallen back a lot.
Very heavy with fuel is Vern. He's still got 20 odd laps of fuel left as Hülkenberg challenges Yoshida. Make it nice and easy for me, please, Courtney.
That's not in my DNA.
Yeah, I think he's...
If I see one of your guys behind me, it's just like, right, turn the engine up.
Well, side by side down the straight, approaching the Jim Clark chicane, and back onto the racing line goes Hülkenberg for 14th place. Next target is an Exolite. So 3 Yorkshire teamed drivers battling for 13th place.
Tell you what, that stressed me out though. That seeing the replay of that Vettel one, because I'd already made a mess of my pants the first time, and then I didn't know if it was live or a replay. So I'm in real trouble now.
Now, Hülkenberg strangely went a bit defensive there after getting the move well done, and it's compromised his exit onto that chicane. And now Yoshida's going to come back at him for 14th, and he's likely to make that stick, I would imagine. Yes, he has. And Hülkenberg's just lost even more time because his exit on that chicane's also been ruined.
Next lap.
I think the cars are going to lose a lot more by battling each other than they would gain by slipstreaming each other's down the straight. So yeah, this probably isn't good for either of us.
And I'm just looking at the different levels of top speed there, because it seemed like the Shake and Bake powered ahead of the FJR a little bit easier than the FJR powered ahead of the Shake and Bake. So I can only assume that you are running full whack for this race. So Megatron's...
I'm not sure if it's full whack, but I think it might be
a fairly sizable whack.
I'm running a pretty. I think I'm running the highest engine setting that I have so far this season. At this point.
Now Yoshida's a little bit further back this time, but can he get enough of a slipstream? Not on this occasion, so he's going to have to banzai it through the Ayrton Senna chicane if he's going to challenge into the Ajip curve, which is the first corner of the stadium, and I think Hülkenberg's got the measure now.
Yep.
Oh, Van Dorn!
Oh, Van Dorn's out, yeah.
That's another Ilmore issue.
Not only is the Willow slow, but it's also been quite unreliable, it has to be said, this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've definitely had the least reliable package this season of Ilmore, with less. It's 78%.
Ooh.
Oh, good grief, Nico!
He's got to make the corner, surely.
That was about 15 moves.
And Grosjean's
surely.
got him back.
Of course, it's Grosjean. Yeah. How many moves did he make down that straight? Jesus.
Yeah, I'm needing a change of underpants after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a trip down to James Whiteley's house is in order for that one. I think you need to kick down his door after that one. That was not nice.
That was tetchy. And is this take 2? Yeah, it could well be. So let's see what happens this time. Is Grosjean going to be aggressive? These are 2 of the class of 2010 versus each other, and
I think it's a replay. Again. I think it's a replay. No, it's not. He's gone even deeper than last time. Jeez,
no, it's not a replay because he stayed ahead.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, yeah, very hairy scrap. No other word for that.
I don't think... Did either of them make the corner?
Not really. If Yoshida gets past Grosjean here, then that should give Hülkenberg the break he needs, because they'll squabble and he'll be able to pull away, and I think that is exactly what's going to happen now.
Tell you what, I think I'm going to need a beer for this one.
I can hear that in the background, and let's see Yoshida
This is stressful stuff, guys.
Extremely stressful for you.
Stressful stuff. I never thought the battle for 14th would be so stressful.
Oh yeah, it is only 14th, isn't it? Oh yeah, well, I don't really care then.
It was 13th with Hülkenberg now, but yeah.
Now it's the battle for 14th between Grosjean, Yoshida and Clark. I nearly said Kubica. That timing graphic's going to confuse me. Slipstream for Yoshida as he chases down Roman Grosjean into the Jim Clark chicane. Let's see how aggressive Grosjean's going to be. Well, that's your answer.
Right, get that guy off. Like, get that guy off the field. Referee.
I wonder what instructions has James Whiteley given his drivers here. Interesting tactics.
Grosjean, carnage.
He's just told Grosjean to go stick his baguette everywhere. Like,
stick his what everywhere?
Just get his baguette and just stick it in the worst places possible.
Mind you, the other X-Light's doing quite well up in third place, so Alonso having a good race. He's some 20-odd seconds behind Kevin Magnussen, race leader, and just a few seconds ahead of Bottas. That was James Clark getting ahead of Grosjean. Now, Vettel versus Grosjean. Let's have a look at this one.
Yeah, Grosjean's going backwards here, and I don't think that was going to do that. He's going to get cut off. But he's going to switch to the inside, but I don't think he's not going to do that now. And on the battle goes.
Just a speculative look from Vettel, but this is now the next lap, lap 19, nearly at half distance, and Vettel is in 17th chasing Grosjean. Not enough of a slipstream at this point, but could get a good one going into the Ost curve chicane. And good on the brakes, good through the chicane, and now he's in prime place.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot more madman defending, I think, here from Roman.
Let's see what happens here before we move on to some silly season stuff, because there's quite a few updates from the upcoming silly season. Some teams already signing drivers.
And that was as much.
I'll tell you what, yeah, that was very clean. I was expecting him to be swinging his baguette all over the place, but no, he's going to let that one go.
Something has happened to Kevin Magnussen here, and let's see.
Oh, is he going to go off? He's not due for the pits.
He ran off, but. Yeah, we've gone back, yeah.
Oh, the gap's 1.6.
Is he just run wide? Is he going to run wide?
Yeah, he's going to make a mistake here. I think this is a replay.
Yeah.
And he's going to spin, is he? Yeah.
He's going in the pits?
And he's going to do a quick pirouette. Is he going to go in the pits by accident? Oh, I tell you what, that's an interesting rejoin onto the circuit there.
Yeah, well, hopefully we don't see the Magnussen under investigation, because that would really trash it. Now he's coming into the pits on this. Oh, that looks a bit wide through there.
He might as well have just gone into the pits that lap.
He might as well, yeah.
Yeah, fair point. He could have done, but he's going to choose this lap. So let's see what. Now the battle for the race leads on.
I mean, barring Magnussen doesn't make any more mistakes, I still think he's the favourite to win this race. However, is Hamilton going past? I think he has, yeah. So Magnussen's obviously had less fuel than Hamilton, but he had even with that weight advantage, he still, his pace before that spin was scintillating, it has to be said.
Still good pace, but that error is going to put him into deep traffic, and he's got to do quite a lot of laps in this second stint.
It's certainly opened things up a little bit between Magnussen and Hamilton. It's obviously only a 2-horse race, this. They're miles ahead of anyone else.
But he's got nice clear track, and with Carlos Sainz for a little bit of company, does Sainz have enough of a slipstream to poke his nose up the inside into the Jim Clark? I don't think so, but Magnussen just keep him watch. Doing a little bit defensive there, and is that going to compromise his exit for the next chicane? I think it might do. I think Sainz is closer here if he can get enough slipstream. Obviously, Sainz had the momentum coming out of that first corner. Is he going to go for a move here? It's going to be interesting. Magnussen's going to...
It's definitely 2 moves. That was definitely...
Yeah, I thought that as well.
No, it's perfectly clean. Nothing wrong with that.
He's got an even better exit here, and he's pulled alongside.
Look at that Megatron go.
I wonder what setting that GRM's running, but...
And he's going to cut across in the braking zone, and he gets ahead, but Magnussen has stuck with him here, and Sainz is definitely going to have to go defensive to hold this position.
But Magnussen's got the run.
K-Mag pulls to the inside. He should get him back here.
Just about.
Sainz is going to hold it around the outside. Just about. That would have cost him a little bit of time, that squabbling, for sure. And who knows, if Hamilton comes in next lap, maybe Lewis could do the overcut.
Possibly. Let's see the gap between Hamilton and Magnussen now. So crossing the line goes K-Mag as Perez has come into the pits. It was 20 odd seconds for Magnussen, and it takes less than that to make a pit stop at Hockenheim. But so Hamilton's in with a shout.
Not too chuffed with Checo pitting so relatively early compared to the others. But he should come out and clear air. He's behind Hülkenberg, although Hülkenberg does have to stop again.
That's correct, yes.
Right, what's Hamilton going to do? Is he going to pit or is he going to bin it? He's going to pit, I think.
He's going to pit. His yellow pit board is up on the top panel there.
Now, this is going to be a crucial pit stop for Lewis Hamilton. He is the driver in form after his Hungarian Grand Prix win. And,
I'm going to make an assumption that Mitchell have taken the decision to, rather than balance the setup between their two cars, they're certainly prioritising Hamilton here.
It would make sense.
And not just for this race, but I think going forward as well, because let's be honest, Hamilton is their most realistic chance to win their first driver's title as well as constructors.
Lee's been very good, but yeah, it's probably wise to put your eggs in one basket at this point.
Yeah, maybe I should do the same as well.
Perez been made a number 2 driver in FF1M as well.
Only problem for me is it's a little less obvious who my current number 1 is. They've been very evenly matched, my drivers this season.
And just briefly back to the action, Hamilton quite easily got back ahead of Magnussen. So Hamilton in the net lead once Alonso and Rosberg make their first stops. And I know Rosberg has got quite a long way to go on his fuel as Hülkenberg takes the other Mitchell going into the Nord curve.
Yeah, my apologies there. I got a bit carried away and I completely... I was oblivious to seeing Hamilton doing the overcut on Magnussen there.
Hamilton, who will be staying with Mitchell for next season. He has re-signed with that team, and Verstappen staying with Willows next season as well.
I was going to say, speaking of getting a bit carried away, I was about to do my ad read for the day.
Oh no, don't.
The Love Honey High Roller Remote Control rotating prostate massager is down from $69.99 to $55.99. It comes in green, although it's more of a turquoise.
It's going to be a mistake from Alonso. Well. He's going off. Sorry to interrupt, Courtney. Yep. Sorry to interrupt, but Alonso's spinning off like a bottle top.
Like a Beyblade.
And that's going to cost him dearly.
Spinning around like the rotating prostate massager there that I just did the plug for.
And that should be good news for Perez, because obviously Alonso was a net 3rd and Perez was a net 5th, so that should bump him up a position. And Gonzalez going past Sainz for position. Both have pitted, which we hadn't seen.
And Sainz wasn't so far, giving Gonzalez one up the back there as well, and now Sainz is going to lose that position to Jean-Eric Vergne.
And gets past well before the braking zone. Yellow there, is that to do with Alonso?
That must be for Alonso, yeah. So Hülkenberg now coming into the pits for his first actual pit stop.
That first scheduled pit stop.
The one that was meant to happen. But he did quite well, back up to 5th briefly, but he's got more work to do.
I got to say though that by and large Hülkenberg has had much more of the bad luck than Magnussen has this season, apart from Silverstone when it was the other way round, Hülkenberg benefiting from his teammates' demise.
Absolutely, and 2 lost podiums for Hülkenberg this season, but he's rejoined in 9th, just ahead of Thomas Gonzalez, but here comes Gonzalez with the momentum.
I'm really confused by that, how Hülkenberg got ahead of Gonzalez.
Just went for it, I suppose. So
either Gonzalez had a bad stop, or Hülkenberg was just lightning on those in-laps. I don't know, but a bit of Grandad Gonzalez today, because he's about to get overtaken by Hülkenberg, who's on much fresher tyres, and can't see him doing a lot here. And yeah, you know what? And Hülkenberg's gone off a bit, but he's stayed ahead for now at least, unless Gonzalez comes back in the slipstream.
And he has got a good slipstream.
But you know what? Unless there are some, maybe 1 or 2 retirements up front, this might be the first race Gonzalez doesn't get points this season.
Whoa!
He's gone back. Oh, and to be fair to Thomas there, he did well to not give up, and now Hockenheim has lost a bit of time.
And he had a massive tank slapper as well through the centre chicane as well. So Hockenheim getting away with one a little bit there, as we see somebody came into the pits. Was that Bottas? Yep, Bottas into the pits from what was 4th place, and here comes Vettel into the pits as well.
Alonso's still showing as 4th, so he mustn't have lost that much time, Alonso.
Well, the thing is, the guys around him have stopped and he hasn't. He's definitely lost at least 20-odd seconds there from that excursion.
Yeah, Alonso could be dropping way down the order once he makes his pit stops. So he's got 20-ish seconds over Thomas Gonzalez, so may rejoin around that area.
It said there Alonso was 27 seconds behind Rosberg, and bear in mind he was ahead of Rosberg before he went off, so he's lost half a minute, I reckon, out of that.
Yeah, best part of half a minute he lost there.
He's been a bit injury prone, mistake prone, Alonso, recently, hasn't he? He made a mistake at Hungary, I believe.
That's correct, yeah. He went wide at turn 4, which is either Felipe Massa or Ralph Furman corner, which I renamed, and got collected by Perez, who was very lucky not to sustain any damage from that.
All I'll say regarding Alonso is that upon contract negotiations a year ago, he wanted a new challenge, and, well, he's got one.
And yeah, X-Lite not having such a bad season, as Alonso has now made his pit stop and is rejoined behind Gonzalez and Hülkenberg and ahead of this scrap for 11th, or 10th actually, between Latifi and Sainz.
And Latifi gets past Sainz. The GRMs, it has to be said, have gone backwards as this race has worn on, or at least certainly Sainz has.
Yeah, Bottas still in 5th, so he's done well to hold on to that one, and we've got Tony Coast up in 6th, so he's upholding Andrew Honor quite well.
Yeah, on course for his best result of the season if it stays as it is, but Latifi goes wide there, but he gets ahead of Alonso, and he's just one place off a point.
Latifi looking for some points, and meanwhile the lead gap between Hamilton and Magnussen, it's sort of hovered around 2 seconds. Hamilton's not getting away from Magnussen despite slightly fresher tyres. Gonzalez versus Hülkenberg for 7th.
Uh-oh. Oh, they're going to lose time in that first corner.
Hülkenberg takes it, going through the Nord curve, and now Gonzalez is in this slip. Well, he's trying to get in the slipstream, but Hülkenberg just pulling away a bit. And I'm just seeing in the background Latifi versus Alonso. That's through 9th place for Alonso.
Is Latifi going to come back at him?
Latifi's not going to give this up, and it's going to be contact, and that's not gone.
Oh my goodness me!
There we go. And that's definitely race ending that. I would have been amazed if he was able to carry on with all wheels attached there.
Right, here comes Latifi up the inside, and is he going to quickly... Yeah, a bit too quickly.
Yeah, just drove
Latifi wasn't going to make that corner, I don't think.
No.
And he just slammed into the side. And look, he's carried on, he's barely lost any time out of that. I tell you what, James Whiteley, if he's watching this, he'd feel hard done by that.
He's going to be calling for a race ban there for Latifi.
The goat with a very innovative overtaking strategy there. I've never seen anyone do that before.
He's going to call that one the Ram.
Oh, more yellow flags here? Is that for something else?
Oh, this is going to be...
Oh, that's not going to end well. That's for the Alonso crunch, isn't it? Yeah.
And ironically, the other X-Lite getting involved into shenanigans.
Yeah. I tell you what, the X-Lite and the Gojira looks very similar.
3 out of the 4 red ones.
With the other one being in the wall.
And the 2 French drivers are going at it.
Very much so. So that's Verne getting ahead of Grosjean, going into
15th place.
Yeah, they're way down.
I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm rubbing salt into the wounds, but just what a god-awful season this has been for Gojira. And Latifi is not going to get away with it because he's going to go off and spin into the gravel. So I think that's his chance of points shot.
He's kept it going.
I forget the name of that corner now.
The Ajip corner.
The Ajip corner, that's it.
But he rejoins in 14th place ahead of that 3-way red scrap as Hülkenberg takes Tony Coast for 6th place going into the Jim Clark chicane. So FJR's now 2nd and 6th. And it's still 2 seconds, the lead gap between Hamilton and Magnussen, with 10 laps to go.
Da Costa's staying in the slipstream here, and he's not going to give this up, I don't think. And Tony Coast goes on the inside. How's this going to work out?
Fairly well, but Hülkenberg, not great traction out of the Ost curve, but he's got the slipstream in the Andrew, which is a very slippery car in a straight line. So Hülkenberg needs a very good one. He's getting it. Oh, Tony Coast defending up the inside, but that's not enough for Hülkenberg.
Bit late there. And Hülkenberg's always going to struggle to make that corner. Yes, he does, though. Showing the grip on those tyres.
Not bad, Nico.
And up into 6th place. Solid recovery drive, it has to be said, for Hülkenberg. And we're on lap 37 here. Hamilton is caught up to Raikkonen, who's going to be lapped. And this is potentially going to cost him some time, because unless he gets past here before the stadium section, and I'm not sure he is. Raikkonen's not obeying blue flags.
Not yet, but he's getting them on his dash.
This is definitely going to favour Magnussen with where he's caught Raikkonen on the track, and he's still not getting out of the way now. This is definitely going to liven things up a bit.
Magnussen 1.5 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton as Hamilton puts that lap on.
That would have certainly cost him at least a second there.
Well, it's now 1.2, the gap between Hamilton and Magnussen, and well, here's Nico Hülkenberg. This does not look too promising.
Could be another, I think it is another off. He's going to go off, yeah, spin. Is he going to hit the barrier? No, he doesn't quite. But I was just saying what a good recovery drive it was to get in the points, but he's kind of squandered it a little bit, although he is only 9th now, so he looks like he's going to get back into the points, but certainly not what he or the team needs in their bid to try and get into the championship, Constructors' Championship hunt.
Was that Vettel and Sainz just behind them as well? Vettel's done a pretty decent job, actually, recovery drive-wise. With just points just up the road, really.
On the back of Sainz here, and now alongside Sainz, it's a drag race, Megatron v Megatron. And will it end as badly as Alonso and Latifi? I don't think it does. A lot cleaner, yeah. That's how you do it.
Take note from Latifi and Alonso as Lewis Hamilton starting the penultimate lap now. Hamilton, 1.8 second lead over Kevin Magnussen. There's a bit of traffic in front of him. That is the Willows, the one remaining Willows of Max Verstappen. And it looks comfortable from here, but you never know what can happen in these last couple of laps.
It's surely a formality now. Nothing can stop him now.
As he turns into the Jim Clark chicane.
What I'll say is AJ does like, when he's editing these races, to do the last bit of footage when there's like 2 or 3 laps to go, and sort of keeps you second guessing, thinking like, oh, is he going to make it to the end? Is he going to, cross the line first? And most of the time, nothing really happens. And this one probably won't. I mean, unless that Willows Verstappen decides to put himself in the headlines for probably the wrong reasons. But
when you've got about 7 laps left that you've got to worry, or like 5 laps left, or if you're Brickles at Canada.
Yeah, that still haunts me, does that? But
yeah.
Anyway, we've got less than 2 laps to go as Hamilton turns right into the stadium, and
getting close.
Further back, we got Rosberg, 17.8 seconds behind race leader Hamilton. So it's been a decent race for Nico Rosberg.
There's a very brave marshal that's on that corner. I've been on that corner a few times now, I've noticed.
Yes, Grand Prix 4 does have very brave marshals. In fact, I remember Road America last season, there was one marshal who was running onto the racing line as there were like 3 cars battling away and I think one of the cars actually drove through him.
That happened in Spa, didn't it? Yeah, as well. Last year, was it? Spa? There's just
2 years
pile.
ago.
See a marshal running in. Very, very brave.
Okay, so it's the final lap now. Hamilton has cleared the Willow, so obviously that's not going to be an issue. But unless Verstappen, for whatever reason, decides to make a lunge. Looks like Hamilton's going to make it back-to-back wins, and I say that rather begrudgingly, because this is really going to damage both the drivers and constructors' battles on my behalf as well. What should have been a circuit I felt we were going to be strong at has not turned out to be the case. And, well, I give credit where it's due. Hamilton pounced on Magnussen's mistake, and it looks like he's going to convert it as he comes around the Egypt curve now. He's going in quite quickly.
Oh my goodness me!
He spun round. I don't believe it.
Magnussen takes the lead of the race.
Hamilton has thrown it all away.
I cannot believe that at all. A win that FJR thought they'd lost after Magnussen's spin and slow pit stop, it's just suddenly happened on the final lap.
Who could have seen this coming?
Oh, wow.
And Kevin Magnussen all of a sudden takes his 3rd win of the season and FJR's 9th German Grand Prix win. Wow. Not expecting that at all.
No one could have predicted that.
Hamilton's managed to get out of the gravel trap. He's going to come 3rd somehow out of that gravel trap. Well, I say somehow. He should have won this race. Oh my God, the scenes.
He will be kicking himself.
Now that changes the championship a little bit, doesn't it?
Slightly,
yeah. I mean, he could have opened up a massive lead in the championship, but he still extends it a bit, but not as much as he wanted to because of that error at the final lap. Wow. Magnussen, 3rd win of the season. Rosberg, an unexpected 2nd, and Hamilton 3rd.
Very fast race completion time there. 1 hour 9 minutes.
You just can't say it's over until it's over in this sport at all. I mean, just remembering Checo last time out, engine blowing up on the final lap, and that was only for 7th place. But here, 4th, the stakes were way higher. Hamilton, he'll be kicking himself with that. And on the circuit, which really was one of Mitchell's, well, it's going to be seen as one of Mitchell's weakest circuits, and big missed opportunity there.
I'm hearing in my ear that a banana skin was left on the curb.
Well, I wonder who could have dropped that.
Yeah, looking suspiciously over at James Brickles right now.
No comment. Well, further down in the top 8, we had Perez finishing 4th, Bottas 5th, and Gonzalez, Hülkenberg and Da Costa taking points as well. So yeah, that's the German Grand Prix with Hamilton. What should have been, he should have been on 80 points there, and a 12-point lead over Gonzalez, but that is just 6.
Well, if Hamilton goes on to lose the championship by 6 or less points, then he'll look back on that.
And now Magnussen just 11 points behind Lewis Hamilton, but it could have easily been a lot more than that.
Don't get me wrong, though. I still think he's the favourite, despite that error.
But there's a few rampant drivers behind.
Very costly. I actually think Magnussen is the driver that has the best chance of stopping Lewis now. I cannot see my drivers. I think we're slipping away, in all honesty.
But you do still hold the lead in the Constructors' Championship, though, 16 points over Mitchell, and FJR looking quite lonely in 3rd there, and a good battle between Andrew and Pedersen developing for 4th. That's going to rumble on for a little bit, I think.
As much as Tobias likes to talk down his chances, I like to talk mine up. And yeah, like we're in 9th at the moment, but you never know. You never know.
That was the German Grand Prix, and quite an exciting conclusion to the race at Hockenheim. And we will move over to another exciting race, potentially, the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. So, from the 3 of us, we shall see you for then.
Cheerio.
Goodbye.